Welcome to Franchise Legends. I'm your host, Dela Croft, and this podcast is all about the people, platforms, and perspectives shaping the future of franchise ownership. Here we talk honestly about growth, the highs, the challenges, and the systems that make success repeatable. Because behind every strong brand is a thoughtful strategy, strong leadership, and owners who want more than just a business. They want impact, stability, and a path forward. Today's conversation is a great example of that. I'm joined by Colette Bell, Vice President of Franchise Development at Ace Handyman Services, a brand that has built its reputation on trust, professionalism, and doing the work the right way. Ace is a name most homeowners recognize, but what's happening behind the scenes, especially as we head into 2026, makes this an especially compelling moment to talk about their franchise opportunity. Colette brings a deep understanding of growth, owner support, and what it really takes to build a scalable home services business in today's market. We're going to dig into why Ace stands out, what successful owners have in common, and how the brand is positioning itself for long-term growth in a changing workforce and homeowner landscape. So, whether you're actively exploring franchise ownership or just curious what separates strong brands from the rest, this conversation is for you. Well, Colette, Ace Handyman Services is well known and it's a trusted name. And you have taken that 28 years to build this. And so for listeners that are brand new learning about Ace, how do you describe what Ace does and why it matters?
Yeah, so of course everybody knows the wonderful hardware store, Ace Hardware, been around for over 101 years in the United States. A lot of times I'll hear people say, oh, I know my Ace does, so people really have internalized the Ace Hardware brand. Mm-hmm. Our tagline kind of says it all, Della. We are bringing helpful home. So everybody likes Ace Hardware because you walk in and all of their red vested heroes are so helpful inside the store. So Ace Handyman's vision is to take that element of helpful and go all the way to the customer's home and help them with things inside their home too. So if they don't have time to do a drywall patch, we can help them with that. If they don't have the knowledge on how to change a garbage disposal, we can help them with that. So the idea really is just to fulfill that help need in the home while still being professional and reliable and insured and careful with their property.
Yes. Wow. So you've led this franchise development at a high level. And how did that begin?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride. I'll tell you that for sure. Initially, when we were first franchising, we saw a lot of growth in 2004, 2005. That was sort of a high point in franchising in the early 2000s because people had access to, unfortunately, pretty easy money, right? That's what led to a lot of the problems in 2008, 2009. But we had a lot of growth. And then things kind of leveled off. But I'll tell you, I explain it like the winds of fortune is really, we're so lucky. My husband and I have said that over and over and over again over the last almost 3 decades. The timing was just perfect with Ace Hardware. They acquired us the end of 19. We rebranded the beginning of 2020 with this fantastic brand name that was recognized. And then the pandemic hit. And a couple things happened that were towards our benefit. One is, as everybody knows, home services grew a lot during the pandemic because there were less choices in the world of franchising, especially in those first couple early years of the pandemic. People weren't sure if we were going to be going back to gyms, or people weren't sure that we were going to be eating out in restaurants as much. So those who were dead set on starting a franchise concept sort of pivoted towards home services. Not just Ace, but obviously home services in general.
Okay.
The second wind that was very fortunate was that customers were staying home. So more than they ever did before, right? Much to chagrin of a lot of people. But, instead of running off to an office for 8 hours a day and then coming home, they were actually inside their home saying, wait, that needs to be fixed and that could be changed and that could be improved. And so suddenly customers started seeing the value of home services and the benefit of actually taking some of their money that maybe they'd normally spend on a cruise or a vacation and putting it into their homes. So then that built up consumer demand inside of franchising for home services. So we were really fortunate to be positioned. I got to tell you, I don't know that we expected the growth rates that we saw. In 2020, we grew by 60 territories. In 2021, we grew by 111.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so much fun, but really also very challenging. Now, again, one more wind of fortune was because home services was expanding in a time that other franchise concepts may not have been expanding. When we were growing our corporate staff, we were so fortunate to be able to gather seasoned franchise professionals to bring to our staff and allow us to support that many brand new franchise owners in a lot better method than we probably could have if we were just growing the normal way. So we were able to, and of course, software. Gosh, I tell people all the time. I mean, I remember the old days. This is ridiculous, Della, but we used to have franchise owners fly to Denver for training and bring their computer tower with them. Plane, you can imagine.
Computer tower?
Yeah, so we could install software, and so we could help. I mean, it was, those are such crazy old days. But software certainly has streamlined. So we have a great learning management software. We can help franchise owners learn about a lot of things through self-directed, on-demand training. And then when they do come to Denver, still have that here in Denver for a week-long training, they just bring themselves in a laptop, right? So
yeah, isn't that great?
Here these days.
So technically, I think you also invented teleportation.
It feels like that. It really
I mean, no longer are we carrying around a big, huge briefcase or a big, huge computer tower.
Yeah, just crazy things like that. Yeah. So yeah. The universe has definitely come our way in terms of technology and efficiencies and scalability, those kinds of things, both for our franchise owners' businesses, but really for the franchisor to support our franchise owners as they're learning the business.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you look at your top performing franchisees, what traits and leadership qualities do you see? I mean, it sounds like you have such a robust system that's already in place.
Oh, it is amazing. And, all walks of life, which is fantastic. I think one of our sort of secret sauces is because Andy and I didn't know construction or the trades or anything like that. When we designed the support system, we knew we had to backfill for franchise owners in those specific content areas because we didn't know it either. And I always tell people, if we can figure it out, anybody can figure this out. So, but what makes a really strong franchise owner in our business model is very strong people skills. The joy of a handyman business is it is a people business. Your customers are people, and their biggest asset for most people, which is their home. So they're very involved in taking care of their biggest asset. Who are the amazing W-2 employees that work for our franchise owners are not likely to be replaced by AI anytime soon. No, I don't say never because I've seen a lot in almost 30 years. But, to have somebody, a robot per se, come into a house and move a bookcase and replace a drywall patch and move it back is a long ways off still to this point. So we're a very large people-based business. And those franchise owners who are great at recruiting a team and surrounding themselves with talent and then encouraging them and motivating them and inspiring them to be better workers, but also be better fathers and their sons and husbands and community members. That's really where this business model tends to thrive. I always explain it to new candidates. You as an owner are able to love up on your employees. Your employees are going to love up on your customers. And that's really how you make the biggest impact in life.
Yeah, that it always trickles down. What a great point. And so is ACE better suited for hands-on operators or owners focused on building teams, managing businesses? I mean, it sounds like that loving on your people, then of course that carries over to the homeowner who ultimately is just looking for peace of mind in whatever repair that they need to to solve and solution, to solve a problem that they have inside their home. And so tell me, how is Ace better suited for that hands-on operator, or owners focused on building teams?
You are so right, Dela. We don't need somebody who can swing a hammer, right? I don't want a franchise owner who's working in the business by being a tradesperson. We really need them to work on the business, and that's through exactly what you mentioned, building a team of craftsmen around them, motivating, inspiring them. But then we also need somebody who's willing, if they don't already know how to evaluate marketing, for example. Marketing spend in home services is huge, right? You got to show up when a customer's looking for you.
Yes.
And so we've got fantastic marketing tools and resources and training and reports, but it's still up to a franchise owner to run the reports and then do something with that data. We support them along the way, but you need an owner who has time and the energy to run P&L reports and make sure that they don't have any slippage in their P&L so they can make the most profitable business possible for themselves, run the marketing reports and adjust their own marketing, spend time talking to the community. My husband explains it, you got to be the mayor. Just run around and tell people you've got this amazing handyman business, and you'll be surprised at how much business you can generate through that conversation.
Yeah, no, I agree with that philosophy as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, a success story of one of your Ace Handyman Services owners. Share with me a success story.
Yeah, there are so many, but I will share this one because I love the fact that our career path for craftsmen across the system actually begins all the way at the apprentice level. So we do have training to help maybe younger employees who are considering getting into the trades for a career. That career path progresses through a number of different positions in the handyman business, apprentice, helper, craftsman, handyman, master craftsman, lead craftsman, actually all the way up to franchise ownership. And we have two particular franchise owners currently who actually started as craftsmen in a location of ours. And the original franchise owner saw just that something special in that craftsman. They were probably great at what they did in the trades, and they had an eye towards business. And those franchise owners mentored those craftsmen, moved them up in the career path, which is what our dream has always been. And two of them actually ended up selling their Ace Handyman Services business to a craftsman that started with them as a craftsman. And so now they're franchise owners as well. I just love that because it's really full circle. Yeah.
Yes, that is such a great succession story for the owners that then sold their business onto the craftsman. What a beautiful circle.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. And of course, we've got generational businesses. I'm very proud of that. We have a location in Pennsylvania. It's actually been around. It's starting its 21st year of business. So started in 2004 with us. Originally, her dad bought the business. She was graduating from college. When he signed his first 10-year renewal, he transferred the business to his daughter. She ended up hiring a craftsman that she later fell in love with and married. They bought a second territory. I mean, it's just, lots of things like that. It is when you've been around for as long as we've been around, there's a lot of amazing franchise stories.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for candidates considering franchise ownership, but unsure where they fit, what would you say about why Ace could be the right platform?
Yeah, I think if it resonates with their internal sort of culture direction. So what I mean by that is, there's a lot of really great franchise concepts out there. And some of them have even fantastic return on investment numbers on them. But maybe they don't have as easy a way of connecting with your feel-good part, making a difference in your community. So one example I share with our candidates is it's a cultural standpoint of ours to really encourage our franchise owners to donate donate 4 hours of handyman labor a quarter to their community. Now, we don't specify, right, if they want to work with Habitat for Humanity, if they want to work for Children's Miracle Network. A lot of our franchise owners work for their church or their synagogue, maybe an elderly neighbor in the neighborhood, a disabled veteran, a domestic shelter. There's, the list goes on and on. But we want somebody who says, I have a great business. And part of being a responsible community member when you have a profitable business is to give back to the community. That's not true in all models. It's not true in all franchise systems. But if it matters to someone, I think you'll hear those threads of resonance when you're learning about the franchise concept, and especially when you're talking to franchise owners. And I would share with people looking for a franchise, don't give up. There's going to be a concept out there that the business model makes sense, and whatever resonates with you can be there as well, so that you have a well-rounded experience as you go into this next chapter.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that is just exciting to hear, Colette. You've been here for 28 years building this system, and now you're leading more into this system. And how inspirational is that? And I see behind you, remember your why. Can you tell me what your personal why is?
Yeah. I would tell you that probably my husband's why and my why are different, which is interesting because we've been on this path forever. My husband's why has always been to improve home improvement for the better. He just wanted to bring a professional level to an unprofessional trade that was probably still is complained about, like used car dealers, right? My personal why was I felt like franchise owners deserved a business that would give them the opportunities that my husband and I experienced when it came to raising our family and controlling our time, so that then we could control our lives. And one just recent experience, Della, that I share with people is both of my boys, 27 and 25 now. We started the business when our oldest was born, so he'll be, hard to believe, turning 28 this year. When they were graduating from high school, I can remember spending time, at graduation parties with other parents, and everybody's, kind of sad but excited at the same time. I remember a lot of mothers would say to me, gosh, it went fast and I wish I had spent more time with them. Mm-hmm. I can remember coming home from those parties and telling my husband, I'm so grateful that I did say that, because we did get to spend the time with our boys, even though we were building a business and franchising and it was growing like crazy. And certainly there was plenty of stress along the way. We were still able to control to do what was, for me, the most important success of our lives, which is raising our boys. And anytime somebody asks me at a cocktail party, what do you do? My answer has always been, we raised 2 boys in business. That's just what we did our entire lives. So that's what I'm really grateful. And that's what I've always wanted for our franchise owners. I hear the stories because I'm in the development chair. People have been traveling and they miss their kids' events, and they don't see those pivotal moments that are in every kid's life. And it just breaks my heart, because I do think it's possible. It certainly takes an adjustment. And a willingness to believe in yourself and the model that you've selected. But I've also enjoyed seeing our franchise owners with that same success. In fact, we have a franchise owner from 2004 whose adult daughter is now working for our support center. She grew up and got a great marketing degree and came to us and said, I want to keep working for this company in a different format. And what an experience that now she actually helps her dad with marketing from the support center side. So
yes, that is a great experience. Another good story. Yeah. Well, Colette, I just have enjoyed my time, and I've learned much about the systems and the processes in place at Handyman that really are underlying on a foundation of peace, trust, love for the homeowner. And I think that your husband's vision of building a better handyman service has come to fruition. And your vision of also wanting to create a business that supports the lifestyle you're wanting to have with your children, that also has come to fruition. So what a beautiful, if we even want to use the word, manifestation of your individual love for making someone else's life better.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate your story and sharing with us. And while you and I may have a little more of an emotional touch to that story, the business side of it is tried and true as well.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, the goal is really not just to put people in business, but keep them in business. And that only happens if, the business model itself has been pressure tested. We're in 47 states. So we've had the opportunity to test this out in a lot of different markets. I will never tell anybody that it's exactly the same. The handyman business in Arkansas is different than Hawaii, for sure. But the driving passion of helping people professionally, that's really what propels it forward all across the United States.
Yes, yes. So, well, thank you again for sharing your insights and even your why of starting your own business way back 28 years ago with your husband, and continuing that momentum for others as well. Thank you, Colette, for all that you do every day for your people and for our homeowners and for your children.
Thank you for letting me share it, Della. I appreciate it.
Nice to meet you, Colette, and we will talk again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.